What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Scoreboard for Monday, August 2nd, 2021. I'm your host, Eric Sundblad. We are already into August. Oh my gosh, the summer is absolutely flying by. You know, in fact, in 2 weeks, the school season kicks off here in Eagle County. The end of August brings about the beginning of the football season, and this week is the first tournament of golf season. So the Scoreboard is about to get really rolling here. But for now, I still get to hang out with some unique, non-traditional athletes here in Eagle County. And this week, we've got a wonderful Vail Christian graduate, Davis Hermes, a freestyle, highline, slackliner. He is an incredible athlete, Eagle County local. He's actually going to be moving back up to Eagle County this winter to try to be a Vail ski patroller. I cannot wait for you to meet Davis. Then we're going to head on up to Park City, where our friends at Scoreboard Nation scored an exclusive interview with Ted Ligety. We're going to have our own Maddie Evans lead into that interview. And finally, we're going to close things off with a local hike here out of Minturn at the Grouse Creek trailhead. Plenty of fun here on the Scoreboard this evening. We're going to take a quick commercial break and come right back with that look at Davis Hermes. Welcome back to the Scoreboard, friends. Let's kick things off with a little bit of pulse-pounding, adrenaline-fueled action with highline freestyle slackliner Davis Hermes. Now, the thing that you need to know about highline freestyle slacklining as you're watching Davis perform is that he is clipped on to the slackline. Now, this sport is a derivative of slacklining, which of course gave rise from rock climbers who were looking for something to do in between rock climbing sessions. They started slacklining, which is putting a tense, about 2-inch thick fabric cord mounted to 2 trees and just kind of using your core muscles and doing some balancing on that. Then that progressed to highlining. They wanted to get the lines high off the ground for even more acrobatic feats. And recently, just in the past few years, freestyle highline slacklining has become the new kind of niche aspect of slacklining. And Davis and his friend Justin are pioneers in the sport here in Colorado. And I headed on down to Clear Creek Canyon just past Idaho Springs. So I left Eagle County to go meet with an Eagle County resident to get some footage and an interview with Davis. Now, before we get to our interview with Davis, I want to give you guys some clips of him performing on the slackline and some background information. Now, since slacklining was a derivative of rock climbing, a lot of the same equipment is used. They have the same harness that rock climbers use. They utilize similar ropes to rock climbers. They have the same carabiners, and the slackline is actually anchored into a rock wall on one side of the river using rock climbing anchors, and then also tied around a tree on the other side of the river. And then they've got their harness from rock climbing around their legs, and then they're actually strapped onto the slackline. And the slackline itself is a bit of a bouncy material so that they can get some momentum to start doing their tricks. So if you are a rock climber and this interests you, you've already got the equipment. And if you're not a rock climber quite yet, well, Davis recommends going to YouTube, and that's really how he got his start, was just doing Googling, looking up YouTube videos, and away he went to becoming one of the best in this new blossoming sport. Now, let's meet up with Davis down in Clear Creek Canyon. Here at the Scoreboard, we're always on a mission to find the raddest Eagle County athletes. And I think I may have just found not only the raddest, but the steeziest of Eagle County athletes. Davis Hermes and his mustache, freestyle highline slackliner. Davis, thank you so much for joining me today. How you doing on this beautiful day? You feeling good?
I'm feeling good, yeah. No, you can't go wrong when you have a highline next to you,
Totally.
In my opinion.
So what drew you to this sport? I mean, I was just watching you, and you're hanging up like 100 feet above the river here, doing flips, letting go of the line. Like, what made you want to gravitate to this?
Well, I first saw it at the GoPro games in Vail in 2012, and it wasn't even a highline or the line over the creek that they have every year. I just saw guys couple feet over the ground, just playing around, and it grabbed my attention, and I said, I want to do that. After that, I practiced every day and eventually found highlining. But yeah, something just about the sport, not even the heights, just the act of balancing, and it clearly required all of your focus and all of your attention. It just grabbed me.
So it started as just your basic slacklining, though,
Yep.
and then progressed to a highline, and then progressed to this freestyle side of it.
Yeah, it started on just a line that was a foot, 2 feet above the ground, maybe 20 feet long, and just like anyone, your first steps, you can't even take them. You just step on it, and you're like, how in the heck do people do this? But just try again, and eventually you can walk that, you get a bigger line, you walk that, and then just keep upgrading. And then eventually I found highlining, and that became my passion over just going to the park. So now I'm up here in the mountains more frequently than I'm out in the park.
Which kind of brings you back to your home, because you grew up in Eagle County, grew up a serious skier, looking for that kind of adrenaline rush. And I don't know if highlining probably had a little bit of adrenaline, but this looks like the ultimate of the sport.
Yeah, there is definitely a piece of adrenaline in it, and of course when you have your feet dangling under you and just nothing to look at, especially when you get really high up there, there is some adrenaline, but the point of it is to learn how to calm it and deal with it, and keep your composure when you're up on a high line. And the more you do it, I feel like I've done it enough now to where it's not an adrenaline-seeking thing for me. It's more of just to find a flow state.
Yeah.
So if you will.
It's like immersing yourself in nature then,
Totally.
similar to what skiing and snowboarding has become for us.
Yeah, just like any sport, when you're really engaged with it, it requires all of your focus, all of your attention. It's the only thing you're thinking about, and you're really present in the moment, and that's what I appreciate most about it, is just how present it makes you.
Well, you're certainly looking incredible up there. You were very
Thank
present in the moment. Yeah, absolutely. Now, if anybody is kind of interested in taking this sport up or exploring it more, what are the best resources, or what did you do to sort of grow more within the sport?
The best resource is yourself. I almost feel bad saying that, but it's hard, and just like anything you want, you just have to get after it. And like when I started, I practiced every day for 2 years before I wasn't doing it every single day. In the summer, that meant 8+ hour days in the park. I was going before school, after school when I started. It's just a thing of practice. As long as you have a line, you can find a place to set it up. So I guess your best resource would be a slackline company to just get your line initially. And then after that, it really is up to you. Of course, some tips and training along the way can help. I used YouTube, but really it's just practice.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I understand the gentleman you were slacklining with today, Justin, is kind of one of the pioneers of the highline freestyle slacklining, and he's got a video company. You think those videos would be helpful for folks?
Yeah, no, he has Trickline Collective, which you should check out. There's some highline freestyle tutorials there if you're trying to get into highline freestyle. Otherwise, it is kind of like climbing in the way that you need a mentor to have you, or to show you how to do things properly and how to be safe. And it is such a new sport that it is hard to know how to do what you need to do properly. But there are your resources on YouTube. How Not to Highline is a great channel if you want to learn about rigging specifically. Yeah.
Okay. And any plans for this upcoming winter? I understand you're going to come back to Eagle County and hang out with us again.
I am, yeah. I'm up in Boulder right now, but I'm moving back to the Valley this August, or maybe after. I might car life it up in Boulder for a couple months or so, because I do like the Front Range.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm hoping that I'll start I will start my rookie season at Ski Patrol, Vail Ski Patrol, and be up in the Valley, highline on the weekends. And of course, anyone can feel free to reach out to me for tips on slacklining or a resource or just any info you might need. Just Davis Hermes. You can find me on Instagram.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm always welcome to help as well and help lead people down the right path. Yeah.
Awesome, dude. Well, hyped to get you back in the community. We'll try to rally with you this winter and see how ski patrol's going. Maybe we can get some shots of winter highlining. That'd be sick.
I would. It's a lot of post holing to set up, but we'll make it happen.
Okay,
we'll
it'll
make
be worth
it happen.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining me, showing off this incredible new sport, new derivative of highline slacklining, and go out there and kill it. Go get some more of those Yoda flips in.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. And thank you for watching the Scoreboard. We're going to take a short commercial break and be back with more after this.
Welcome back to the Scoreboard. I'm one of your hosts, Maddie Evans, and a Park City ski racer. That's something that's so near and dear to my heart, as I raced for the Park City ski team for a little while, an alumni Park City ski racer, and also an incredible athlete for the U.S. ski team. He's competed everywhere. Ted Ligety, a total dreamboat, is going to give us a special interview, an inside look at some of the most fun moments in his career and some of the most exciting moments in his career, but also a different look at fatherhood and being a post-professional skier. So stay tuned and take a look.
Hey Scoreboard Nation, welcome back. I'm Ryan Koseka, co-host of Scoreboard. Sitting next to me, the man, the myth, the legend, a guy who needs no introduction, Ted Ligety. Ted, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
So obviously your career has now kind of come to a close, you know.
Yep.
Before we kind of dive into that though, talk about your career overall. I mean, it's a very long one. 16 World Cup seasons, 4 Winter Games,
Yep.
7 World Championships. I mean, the resume is, let's be honest, it's very impressive, very hard to, pass or duplicate.
Yep.
Talk about your career and just the highs and lows and just things that stand out to you that you remember.
Where do I start? Yeah, it's been a long one. I mean, when I started on the World Cup, I never would have thought I would have had the success that I had. When I was in the Park City ski team, I was getting my butt kicked by like 7 seconds or more a race. Like I wasn't anywhere close to being the best. So to have a career where I won Olympic gold medals and world championships and all that is kind of mind blowing. When you're in the midst of your career, you have it's hard to have the perspective on what you're doing at the time, and also competitively don't really want to look at it that way because you want to keep pushing and want more and all that. So now to sit back and look at it, it's pretty wild. So it's actually funny because Head had all my trophies in Europe for all those years because I wouldn't travel with them home, and so they just shipped them back, and so they just got to my house last week. So unboxing those is kind of wild to think back on some of those memories.
So as you've been unboxing them, is there any trophies or medals that maybe particularly stand out? Maybe one where it's a run or a race or a moment that stands out more than the others?
I mean, there's a lot of different standout moments. I mean, I think kind of the career highlight is Schladming in 2013, the World Championships there, where I won 3 gold medals. And what was especially cool is I never really wanted to be a specialist growing up. In one event. I wanted to be able to be good in all the disciplines, and so to be able to win in Super G and combined and giant slalom and all at one big race was a huge accomplishment, just beyond my wildest dreams for sure. So, seeing that stuff is pretty amazing. I mean, it's like your kids, it's always hard to pick what's your favorite one, but that's definitely a memory that stands out for sure.
Now that you're retired,
Yep.
The racing career part is over, but it's kind of way you're embarking on a new career. You've already been a dad, you have a 4-year-old, but now you have twins. Talk about, exactly. Talk about what it's been like now, for you, transitioning from being this world-class racer to now being a world-class dad.
Hopefully I'm a world-class dad. Yeah, I mean, it's wild. So Jax is 4. He just turned 4 a handful of days ago. And he, the first few years of his life, he traveled the world with me, and my wife, Mia, and I we're traveling the world as a family, and he'd been to 13 countries by the time he was 2 years old. So really well traveled, but obviously having twins, that's impossible to do. So they stayed behind this year. They're 11 months old now. They'll be a year pretty soon here. And it's wild. I mean, the hardest part's for sure the sleep. Luckily, they're sleeping now, but it's such a fun age right now because they're just starting to walk, and they kind of make their gagas and goo-goos and have some expressions, and it's a totally different world. Jack's, my son's like riding his bike, skiing with him this winter in Deer Valley. It's a lot of fun, and so it's just a really cool experience to be like be with them and just see their like daily developments, which is pretty profound at this stage in their life.
You know, I know a lot of athletes when they do retire, they miss out on what's the next stage of their life. Yours has already been kind of chosen for you in that regard.
Yeah.
Is it really rewarding for you now being home, almost every day, spending time with your twins, spending time with Jax? Are you excited to get on the slopes with them and kind of see where he goes with that?
Yeah, I'm lucky having retired and actually having a family. I think that's a very good thing. I definitely would feel a little bit more lost, I guess, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a lot of things going on in my life, but having the family there is definitely a good piece to center myself. And it's a difficult transition going from something I've been, since I was probably 14, it was like a semi-professional, like not in like a monetary sense or anything, but when I was going to winter sports school at 14, I was going to school all summer and skiing all winter. So
yeah,
it didn't feel that different than once I was making the World Cup. So I've been doing this, for the last 22 years, obviously at various levels, but similar work level. So it's definitely a different transition, and the kids definitely and the family definitely helps that a lot. And so, really lucky to have them. They're awesome and hilarious, and it's been so much fun.
I guess my last question for you is, now we talked about it a little bit beforehand. We have a way of putting, world-class athletes on these pedestals and looking up to them. My last question for you is, what is a typical day in the life of Ted Lee like right now? Like this morning, apart from the interview, what's your typical day like? You got the twins. What time are you getting up? That kind of thing.
The kids wake up anywhere from between like 6:30 and 7:30. So depending on my business Shred, we have an office in Italy as well. My partner's Italian, so in the morning often I'll be on the phone in European time. So I try to get some work done in the morning. But generally have breakfast with the kids.
All right. Are you cooking or no?
I made pancakes this morning for the
nice.
kids. Yeah, the twins love pancakes. Jack loves pancakes. His birthday was pancake themed. Try to get a bike ride or workout in or something, and then just do some more work on the computer and various stuff like that. So some days are crazy busy and feel overwhelmed, and some days are a little bit more chill. So it's kind of a nice ebb and flow. There's not a full routine to it yet, but it's been fun. It's been a smooth transition, I guess, so far.
Awesome. Well, hey, thank you so much for joining us. We
Thanks.
really appreciate it. Congratulations again on just an amazing career, and also just being a father of 3 now. So
Thank you.
Nothing but the best of luck, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you soon.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
This is Ryan Costeca with Scoreboard Nation.
Well, hello, friends. We are back with the Scoreboard. We're going to close things off this week with one of my favorite hikes here in Eagle County. And I keep saying that every time I show off a hike because I pretty much love everything that I get to do here in Eagle County. Every hike is amazing. And this week I kicked it back to the town of Minturn. If you guys recall, a couple weeks ago, I climbed up to Lion's Head Rock. Well, this trail is on the other side of Minturn and heads off in the opposite direction as Lion's Head Rock, but it gets you amazing views of the Gore Range and Lion's Head Rock and the town of Minturn. It's the Grouse Creek trailhead. Let's check it out. Located right before the town of Minturn lies the Grouse Creek and Grouse Lake trailhead, and it's a little parking lot right before the town of Minturn sign, just on your right as you're coming down Highway 24 into Minturn. And as you leave the parking lot, you've got maybe a slight 1/4 to 1/8 of a mile climb before you get to your first major intersection. Now, this direction will take you up Hay Meadow, which is a big open meadow that is perfect for getting your bearings under you if you're split boarding or if you've got a dog split boarding with you. It's very safe in the wintertime. And then behind me, where we're going to go today, is part of the Grouse Lake and West Grouse Creek trailhead. So we're going to continue up this and then make our way across over to Meadow Mountain, which is the first parking lot as you exit into Minturn, where the Forest Service station is. Though without further ado, let's get this hike going up the West Grouse Creek Trail. After climbing through slightly rocky terrain up a constant gentle slope, you're going to reach your first real intersection of the trailhead, where you can make a choice to either go left and check out Grouse Lake, which is about 9 miles to Grouse Lake. What we're gonna do is head off to the right to the West Grouse Trail. Now this trail is the one that loops around over to Meadow Mountain, and it's quite shaded, as you can see through the trees there, and it also borders a river. And I love trails that border rivers because that means my dog can cool off and really enjoy her walk and not be quite so panty and overheated. Let's continue our journey now along the West Grouse Trail. After winding your way up past a wildflower meadow, a nice field of aspens, and large, luscious pine trees, you arrive at a three-way intersection, which is where we are standing now. Now, going straight ahead is going to continue you along the West Grouse Creek Trail. If you make a left on the more rugged path here, that's actually a bit of a red herring trail. You don't want to make this left-hand turn. What you're gonna wanna do to mimic the hike that we're doing today is make a right and continue climbing up this nice gentle slope here and make your way over the traverse to Meadow Mountain. We made it! We made it to the top of the Grouse Lake to Meadow Mountain cutover. And I love this view so much because right behind me, you get a perfect shot of the Gore Range and the Grand Traverse Trail. The Gore Range is one of the more spectacular ranges in Colorado. And did you know the Gore Range is one of the only mountain ranges that doesn't have a 14er in it. And it actually is one of the least explored mountain ranges because silver miners, the prospectors that originally inhabited Eagle County area, found that it was just too rugged to get back there and explore. So everybody just kind of turned around. And the Grand Traverse Trail, which is that big long ridge line you see there, is one of the least traveled and most dangerous trails in Colorado. So if you've got some great feet under you and you are prepared for an adventure, look up the Grand Traverse Trail in the Gore Range. Eagle County is just the best, right? Boy, I love this trail. Beautiful wildflowers. You really can't beat it. But what a day. This is about a 6.2 mile to 7 mile round trip journey. It's well shaded, plenty of river spots for the pups, gorgeous wildflowers. But for that, we're all done with this hike. We're gonna take a quick commercial break, come back with more The Scoreboard. Thanks for tuning in to The Scoreboard, folks. What a show that was. Love to meet Davis Hermes, love to meet Ted Ligety, love to show off my favorite hikes here in Eagle County. And we've got plenty more fun on The Scoreboard in store for you this month as it is the kickoff of the new school season here in Eagle County. And we're going to be turning our focus to our young local athletes and starting to show off what's going on around our various schools. But that's been it for this week. Thanks for tuning in. Have yourselves an excellent week and keep watching The Scoreboard.